Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Callie. Today is August 2nd, Saturday, and I hope you're having a great start to the weekend. And it is a new month, so I'm excited for it because it's a new month to build more into the habit of where I want to be financially. Another month of gains, another month of compounding. And for me, I'm getting in the groove. This is month 5 for me. So building this discipline to stick to the budget, to spend less than my means, and be patient with the journey and be patient with what I'm doing. So just spending less than my means, that will go to the first point because today I'll be chatting about this book, The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. And I love just his simplicity, and you can check him out in for his book or on YouTube for any interviews. And for someone like me who, likes to be busy, likes to hustle, I want to maintain this passive long-term investor mindset like he's trying to teach us. And I fully understand it now that I'm in month 5. Now my goal is to simply stick with it, and yes, it starts off with spend less than you earn. This forms the foundation of the strategy, and he emphasizes the importance of living below your means, tracking expenses, and actively working to reduce unnecessary spending, avoiding lifestyle creep, which I definitely do. Lifestyle creep is increasing your spending as your income rises. That is very crucial to knowing that you're doing that and then trying to budget, right? And keep track of expenses. So I was doing all this basically before April this year. And look at me right now, already making those changes and sticking with those changes, because a habit starts to form after 14 days, after 21 days, and then it gets easier from then on. The rest, you will invest the surplus. Once you created a surplus by spending less, the next step will be to invest it wisely. Another key point is avoid debt. Luckily, that's something I rarely have in my life. Maybe once or twice, I had to pay off something, and that was long ago. But that's if I had to recall on it, it was stressful to have that looming on my head. So I can't speak for that. But if you're in a similar situation, I believe debt is something you want to take care of first before investing because of just the interest rate. And then best of luck if you are in that situation, and you can do it. Just like what I'm doing for myself in terms of investing and saving, it's the same concept. You're going to be paying that debt off and taking that weight off your shoulders, and then once you're debt free, you can celebrate, and then you can put that money into saving and investing. He also talks about simplicity, right? And simplicity, just like using low cost index funds to invest in rather than complex, actively managed funds, which tend to underperform and carry higher fees. So, low cost index funds like VTSAX or VTI, these index funds will track the S&P 500 for the most part, and it gives you a broader market exposure, diversification, and there are lower cost fees. And that's exactly what I'm doing. For myself, I invest in QQQ and VOO, and then just a few others, just because in the beginning of the journey, I was listening to all these financial YouTubers, etc., and it influenced me. So I'm trying my best to also simplify what I consume and who I listen to. And I do like J.L. Collins' viewpoints and perspective and philosophy in terms of building wealth this way. Another is the power of compounding. He talks about consistent investing and compound interest can lead to significant wealth growth over time. And from my viewpoint, I started in April, right? I started with $3,500 at the end of the month, but it started with just that first $800 deposit. And then it slowly grew and grew to the point where I'm at right now, which is sitting around $23,000 and a little more. And yesterday, I was able to put $200 to keep up the habit of investing, and that was into my Roth IRA account. Let's move on to asset allocation. He talks about the concepts of wealth accumulation stage, primarily stocks, and the wealth preservation stage, incorporating bonds for stability as retirement nears, and how to adjust asset allocation accordingly. For me, as I'm still young at 36, I was mainly focused on my assets on growth stocks for volatility and then for higher income potential, higher earnings potential. And I listened to my friend Sam, who got me into investing, and he said, as you're young, Callie, just don't worry about dividends, because I wanted money right now. I wanted the extra dividends. And to be honest, like I did some numbers too, I still need a lot of money to get those dividends. And I believe later on, maybe in life, as I near 59 years old, I will rebalance my portfolio and then perhaps go with dividends. We'll see later on, but that's something later on to look at for myself. And then also for asset allocation, I also collect Pokemon cards. So, this is right here worth about $2,500 or more for just cardboard. Something for fun, but yes, it also has value to it. So I don't carry cash at my place. I just carry Pokemon cards. So don't rob me. Let's move on to he says the 4% rule for those in the wealth preservation stage. That is, I guess, a retirement stage. So he gives some type of guideline of 4%. I'm assuming take out like 4% during like a safe withdrawal rate from investments. And then this last part, it says FU money. I like this. This concept emphasizes building enough financial independence to have the freedom to make choices, pursue passions, and not be tied to a job or employer out of necessity. How many of us are working our ass off? How many of us are working for a boss that we don't like? Luckily, I'm not in that position. I love what I do. And also, I don't have a toxic boss, but I had toxic coworkers, and it's all part of the learning experience. And just depending about how you want to deal with stress. For me, I have enough stress internalized for myself, so I prefer not having stressful environments. But imagine a life without debt. Imagine a life where you have that freedom, right? Where you can do whatever you want, or just be like, hey, I want to go to Hawaii right now. I'm going to book this ticket, and I don't care about that cost. For me, I see myself in that position later on as I near to it. I'm also kind of shifting gears too. I may do half in terms of my goals. I may shift to not maxing out the Roth IRA. I may do like 3 or 4 thousand, half of it, and then the other half for the brokerage account, because I'm looking, like I'm working so hard in terms of saving. I don't want to just wait till 59 till retirement. And don't get me wrong, yes, I would like to have a good portion saved in retirement, but there's another portion where I'd still would like to splurge in the next year, even, or within 5 years. And this is where the discipline and the patience also applies. And then let's see, a conclusion. The Simple Path to Wealth offers a clear and empowering message that achieving financial independence doesn't require complex strategies or high incomes. By embracing simplicity, discipline, and a long-term focus on saving and investing in low-cost index funds while avoiding debt, individuals can build substantial wealth and gain the freedom to live life on their own terms. Truly believe that. I don't have a high income. And, people who work their ass off and know how to save properly, they, they're okay in life. Now imagine if you're similar to where you're just saving money, but also that saved money is allocated into investments, taking in 5%, 10% annually. You're going to be doubling, tripling your money in a given 10, 20 years. So that's just the power of this long term mindset. So there we go. That is J.L. Collins, The Simple Path to Wealth. And check it out. Things like this for me, it helps reinforce what I'm getting into. And having a mentor, I do have a friend that I can talk to and chat with. And I love just the concept of investing. I love the concept of growing through finances, as well as, in a way, this is personal development too, right? For me, I'm learning more about myself through this journey and my impulses and the psychology of money, which is another book. And I'll probably talk about that one in the next video. So I hope you learned something with the simple path to wealth, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Any questions or comments, feel free to put that in. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Have a great weekend, everybody.